What is the worst pain you've ever felt? Flaming cooking oil spilled all down both arms. Literally melted the skin off. An obsessed tooth. I was ready to rip the fucking thing out of my head all by myself. That scene in Castaway where Tom Hanks' character used the rock and the ice skate blade to knock his own tooth out looked pretty attractive. Edit. I want to add, if this happens to you, you should not try to yank it out yourself. There is something called referred pain. Basically, your nerves lie to you and you feel pain somewhere other than the source of the infection. You could pull a completely wrong tooth. Hemorrhaging ovarian cyst. A rupturing ectopic pregnancy. I can't describe the pain because my brain shut off due to the severity of it. I remember when I woke up from surgery, the DRs told me they'd had to restart my heart twice and I had a lot of internal bleeding. Oh, and I lost part of my fallopian tube. They intubated me so when I did come to, I was gagging and they had to take it out. When they did they hit my vocal cords and I had a very husky voice for about a year. The whole situation sucked. The pregnancy was due to rape while serving in the Marines. I'm still fighting for justice 14 years later. Cluster headache. It's a reason it's called suicide headache. The back of my eyeball and optic nerve waking up after emergency retina cryopexy, triggering a massive migraine that felt like I had a spike through my eye and into my brain. It was absolute raw unabashed hell, curled up with my head between my knees crying and screaming. Had to keep facing down because of the gas bubble injected into my eyeball to keep the retina in place, too. Death of my sister. Died in her sleep at 50. She had been working at a really toxic company for years after they had been bought out by a private equity fund. She could not leave because she needed health insurance for her epilepsy. Left that job on a Friday, was going to take a couple of months off and then had a new job promised to her for a wonderful company. Dead of a heart attack in her sleep on the Monday night. It was so unfair. Kidney stones. Remember that scene on Alien when that thing ripped out of the people's torsos? Yep, that's what I compare it to because that is what it felt like. Post-biopsy for osteosarcoma, bone cancer, in my femur. After waking up from the biopsy they picked my leg up to slide an X-ray pad under it and the bone just shattered instantly as the tumor had deteriorated the bone to the point where the biopsy needle caused the whole structure to collapse. Without a doubt the most 11/10ths pain imaginable. At least physically back pains have been beating me forever. It's not the severity even though it hurts but really how much it pisses me off when I am sitting down. It's basically impossible to sit still. Getting an IUD inserted with no pain meds, not even ibuprofen. Gout. It was paralyzing. I'm sure there's worse, but it was fucking terrible. In bed for over a week. It was my knee. Testicular torsion. Imagine getting kicked in the balls, then multiply that by 1,000. If I moved my legs at all, I would feel like a horse was kicking me in my balls. And the craziest part? My balls weren't fully twisted, so that shit gets even worse if it fully twists closed. And if you wait too long, you risk losing a nut. The morphine was amazing though. Hearing the words, "Unfortunately we're not seeing a heartbeat," 5 months into what had up until then been a picture-perfect pregnancy. Funny enough, a period of constipation. I've had multiple gunshot wounds twice in my life. I've been set on fire, hit by cars, and all the fun of growing up in the 80s/90s. Not being able to pass a poop takes the cake by far. Not even in the same league as anything else. There was one moment when I was teenager where I had an upset gut, but my body wouldn't move it. It was uncomfortable at first, but by the end of the 4th day and I genuinely would have taken death if it was offered. I was in the and morphine was not touching the pain.